Hey everybody, so I'm here going to talk a little bit about asynchronous number 3 that is due Thursday 11:59. So we finish up our discussion about how to match up equivalent expressions on our Thursday class. The different techniques that we talked about were algebraic manipulation, trying substitution, and then try to graph both using Desmos. I'm going to talk a lot about the Desmos portion in this video if you need some support. Now, what I want to say is when you click on the Desmos sort, you're going to be seeing some like expressions that might be like scary and monstrous looking. I'll click on that in a second, right? But you're going to just try your best. Don't be worried about being marked down. I'm mostly seeing like what strategies are you using to try to match up the cards. So don't be stressed if you're uncertain like whether two cards match up. The part that I do want you to focus on though for this assignment is these portions where you're asked to justify. So in this question here, I asked, what card does this match to and why? What did you do? What was the strategy you did? And then the other question would be, and sorry, there is construction going on here, so let's try to ignore the noise while I'm talking. The next card I say is describe how you tried to match up this card. What strategy did you do? What did you use? Justify and use because. So in this assignment, you can't be wrong as long as you try here. But I definitely want to see what we're trying. So if you click on here, you want to complete the sort first. So what you have is a bunch of cards. My strategy is I like to focus on these here. These are factored forms because that's something we talked about in class. So I like to kind of focus on the factored forms. I'm going to maybe just move them over here. Any term that has a squared on it looks like a standard form of a factored form. So I'm just going to move those here. This one looks like we could try to factor it a bit. This one also like looks like I could do some distribution. So I'm just going to move some cards like that away from what I'm trying to focus on. Okay, so I'm going to try to take a look at this card right now, and I'm going to try to multiply this out using the box method. And in order to show you how I do that, I'm going to connect my my doc cam like this. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to multiply this out. And you could either use FOIL or the box method. Go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you using the box method. So you're going to go ahead and draw a box. I'm going to put x plus 5 on here, x minus 1 down here. So I would do x times x is x squared, 5 times x, 5x, 1 times negative 1 times x is negative 1x, negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Usually when you have the box method, you add these two on the diagonal. So I'm going to have x squared, and then negative 1 plus 5 is plus 4. Don't forget your like term x. Then you have minus 5. So great. I kind of just simplified this, and I'm going to try to see if any card looks like this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and see, and then if any card does look like that, I could go ahead and match it. So let's see, this is the card I did. So far I don't see any of the ones that look like a squared look like it, but I do see this card. Now this card looks like the unsimplified version of it, because if I do negative 1x right here plus 5x, I get my positive 4x that I had on my paper, see? So that means these two must match up. Sorry, I accidentally matched those two. So this matches up with this because this is just the unsimplified form of the one I found right here. So these cards are a match. The next one that I'm going to show you, I mean, you could do this one. What you would do is box method right here. You would distribute here, and then you'd add 12 and see what that gives you. You could also do the same for this one right here. And then there's this one. So I'm going to leave those alone now to let you all try to experiment with them. You could also feel free to send me pictures or anything like that for any of these. And then I'm going to go over how to do the scary looking fraction ones. So the strategy for dealing with the scary looking fractions is usually I'm going to try to group together the ones that have the same like denominator, like this x minus 1 happening. I'm going to try to move them all here. Like that's just like a pattern I'm seeing, and I'm just going to try to move them all and see if I could find some matches. And then any other cards that look different, I'm just going to move them. This also has an x minus 1, and then so forth. Cool. So now, what I'm going to do with this, well, we can't really do box method here. It's not like we're multiplying two binomials like we did for here. So for these, I'm going to be using the Desmos technique. The Desmos technique, all I have to do is graph, right, an expression and see if it matches up to another graph. So let's try 2x minus 5 divided by x minus 1. So I have to put parentheses, 2x minus 5, close parentheses, then you divide. I divide by doing a slash. That's what that graph looks like. Now, let's try and see if we could find another graph that would probably look like that. Like this one, like for some reason, because it has a 5 and the x minus 1, I'm interested in this one. I'm gonna test out if this one matches to this one. So let's go ahead and type it out. So we have 6x plus 1 plus, and it was 5 divided by x minus 1. So looking at that graph, it's in red. It doesn't look anything like the graph that's in black. So it's not that card, but it was a good try. Okay, it's not that card. And we just keep going, and we're just going to keep trying to match this card up with a graph that looks like it. You could even try this one here. So let's try this one. It has a 2 like this one does, and it also has an x minus 1. So we're going to try that one. So 2 plus, and it was, I already forgot it, 1 all over x minus 1. Wow, that was close. See, my black graph looks like this. And then the new graph I just graphed looks almost like it, except it's like kind of shifted a bit. It was close though. This one almost matches up with this one, but not exactly. So then we have to just keep going. And then basically this is the Desmos technique. This is how I'm using Desmos to try to match up cards. So then I could try this one and so forth. So you kind of get the strategy. It's just strategy, right? My expectation, oh yeah, now I'm doing this one now. My expectation is that you're not a professional at this. I just want to see what strategies are you using, how are you using them. Sorry, divided by x minus 1 plus 2. Yay, look y'all, I did it. So I tried this one and it matches up with this one. See, look, if I take out the black, it's the green graph. Take out the green. See how the green graph is right on top of the black graph? That means these two cards are equivalent expressions when their graphs match up. Yay! So this one matches with this one. We did it. Now you all kind of get the strategy here. So great, I got 2 cards matched up. I got a few more to go. That's how to use the Desmos, and I kind of talked a little bit about how to use box method. I hope that's helpful, y'all. Yep.